A king loses his head. A girl walks through fire. An empire burns. This is every season of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon explained in 12 minutes. Game of Thrones, Season 1. This is where it all starts. In the icy north, House Stark lives by honor, something Westeros doesn't value. When King Robert visits and asks Ned Stark to be Hand of the King, Ned heads to King's Landing with his daughters, walking straight into a nest of vipers. There, he uncovers a dangerous truth. Cersei's children aren't the king's, they're Jaime's. Ned tries to expose it, but politics crush principle. He's betrayed, arrested, and executed in front of Sansa. The honorable man dies, and the game turns deadly. Across the sea, Daenerys Targaryen is sold into marriage, but finds strength in fire. When Khal Drogo dies, she walks into his funeral pyre with 3 dragon eggs and walks out alive with dragons. Magic is back. The world will never be the same. One king dead, a family shattered, and fire reborn. The game begins. Game of Thrones, Season 2, Westeros fractures. After Ned's death, 5 kings rise. Joffrey rules from King's Landing, but Robb Stark is crowned king in the north. Cutting through Lannister forces with every battle. Stannis and Renly Baratheon both stake claims to the Iron Throne, but can't even agree with each other. And in the Iron Islands, Balon Greyjoy declares independence, while his son Theon betrays the Starks, taking Winterfell and faking the deaths of Bran and Rickon. In the capital, chaos grows. Tyrion becomes Hand of the King and does what few can: keep Joffrey in check. He reinforces the city, plays politics, and prepares for war. When Stannis launches a full assault on Blackwater Bay, Tyrion unleashes wildfire and turns the tide in one of the series' most explosive battles. Victory, but at a cost, his father Tywin returns and takes control. Meanwhile, far beyond the wall, Jon Snow joins a Night's Watch mission into the frozen wilderness. He meets wildlings, learns of Mance Rayder, the king beyond the wall, and realizes something terrifying. The real war isn't for a throne. It's for survival against what's coming from the dark. Crowns are clashing, but the cold is creeping closer. Game of Thrones, Season 3. Season 3 hits like a dagger. Robb Stark's winning the war until he breaks a marriage pact with House Frey. Love over duty. At the Red Wedding, he, Catelyn, and the Northern Army are wiped out in a bloodbath that shocks the realm. Hope dies with them. Beyond the wall, Jon Snow grows close to Ygritte and the wildlings, but his loyalty to the Night's Watch pulls him back. He runs, wounded, to warn them of what's coming. Arya travels with the Hound, sharpening her edges and learning how to kill. She's not a little girl anymore, she's becoming a weapon. In Slaver's Bay, Daenerys changes everything. She frees the Unsullied in Astapor, sacks Yunkai, and is hailed as Misa, Mother. Her army grows, her dragons grow. She's no longer just surviving. She's building something dangerous. The North bleeds, the throne trembles, and the game turns ruthless. Game of Thrones Season 4. Season 4 opens with a royal wedding and a royal death. Joffrey is poisoned mid-toast, collapsing in front of the entire court. Cersei blames Tyrion, and the trial is a farce. He demands trial by combat. Oberyn Martell steps up, burning with revenge, but the mountain crushes his skull in one of the show's most brutal moments. Tyrion is sentenced to die, but Jaime sets him free. On the way out, Tyrion finds Shae in his father's bed and strangles her. Then he kills Tywin on the privy. A son's fury, a father's fall. At the wall, Jon Snow faces the full force of Mance Rayder's wildling army. The Battle of Castle Black is long, loud, and bloody, but Jon holds the line. He's no longer just a watcher. He's a commander. Far to the east, Daenerys seizes Meereen, but ruling is nothing like conquering. Her dragons kill a child, her advisors clash, and her vision of a better world starts slipping through her fingers. Arya parts ways with the Hound, leaving him to die. She boards a ship to Braavos, chasing a new kind of power. The Lannisters may have won the throne, but the cost is catching up. Game of Thrones Season 5. Season 5 is where things start to fall apart. In Meereen, Daenerys tries to rule, but the city pushes back. The Sons of the Harpy rise up, killing her allies, including Ser Barristan. In a desperate attempt to keep the peace, she marries Hizdahr zo Loraq. But during the reopening of the fighting pits, everything explodes. Assassins strike, chaos erupts, and Drogon swoops in just in time. She flies off into the sky and disappears. Down in King's Landing, Cersei tries to outmaneuver the Tyrells by empowering a religious army, the Faith Militant. Big mistake. They turn on her too. She's arrested, imprisoned, and forced to walk naked through the streets while the crowd spits and jeers. The lioness is down, but not broken. In the north, Stannis Baratheon burns his own daughter at the stake, hoping for a miracle. He gets none. His army deserts him, and he's crushed by the Boltons. Brienne delivers the final blow. And at the Wall, Jon Snow leads a rescue mission to Hardhome. The Night King arrives, raises the dead, and makes it clear winter is here. Jon survives, but back at Castle Black, his brothers turn on him. They stab him one by one. The Lord Commander dies in the snow. Everything's breaking. Morality, loyalty, even life itself. Game of Thrones, Season 6, Jon's death doesn't last long. Melisandre brings him back, and with Sansa by his side, he marches to reclaim Winterfell. Ramsay Bolton makes them pay for every inch, but the Battle of the Bastards delivers one of the show's most intense clashes. Jon is buried alive in the chaos, but the Knights of the Vale arrive just in time. Ramsay's defeated, Sansa feeds him to his own hounds, and Jon is named king in the north. In King's Landing, Cersei stops playing the game, she ends it. With Wildfire buried beneath the Sept of Baelor, she wipes out Margaery, Loras, the High Sparrow, and anyone else standing in her way. Her last son, Tommen, jumps from a window in despair. And just like that, the prophecy is fulfilled. Cersei puts on the crown. Across the sea, Daenerys is done being stuck. She sets fire to her Dothraki captors, walks out unburnt again, and finally gains the army she's needed. Back in Meereen, she defeats the slavers with fire and blood. Tyrion becomes her hand. Her ships are loaded, her dragons are grown. Westeros is next. And Bran? He dives deeper into his visions. He sees the truth. Jon Snow isn't a bastard. He's Aegon Targaryen, born of ice and fire. All paths are converging. The war for the realm is about to begin. Game of Thrones, Season 7. Daenerys lands in Dragonstone. Jon Snow arrives soon after. There's mistrust, then alliance, then something more. They fall for each other, unaware they share blood. To prove the White Walkers are real, Jon leads a suicide mission beyond the Wall. They capture a White, but not before Daenerys loses Viserion to the Night King. The undead dragon rises and the balance shifts. Cersei sees the proof, but lies anyway. She promises aid, then plans to let the North and Dany bleed out while she waits. Jon, honor-bound as ever, won't play along. Back in Winterfell, Arya and Sansa turn the tables on Littlefinger. He's executed for his lies, schemes, and chaos. Bran, now the three-eyed raven, watches it all, saying little, knowing everything. The season ends with the Wall falling. Viserion breathes blue flame. The Night King rides. The dead march south. Winter isn't coming anymore. It's here. Game of Thrones, Season 8. Season 8 moves fast and hits hard. The living make their stand at Winterfell. The dead come crashing in. It's chaos, it's dark, it's close, but in the end, Arya Stark ends the Night King with a single blow. The great threat is gone, but peace doesn't follow. Daenerys loses too much. Jorah, Missandei, Rhaegal, and something inside her breaks. King's Landing surrenders, but she burns it anyway. Fire rains from the sky. Innocents die by the thousands. The dream ends in ash. Jon sees what she's become and does what no one else will, kills her in the throne room. Drogon, mourning, melts the Iron Throne and disappears into the sky. What's left is compromise. Bran is crowned king. Tyrion is named Hand. Arya sails off the map. Sansa claims northern independence. And Jon is sent into exile north of the Wall. There's no victory, just survival. Just silence after the storm. House of the Dragon, Season 1. We go back nearly 200 years before Daenerys to the height of Targaryen power. But House of the Dragon Season 1 shows how that power starts to rot from within. King Viserys breaks tradition and names his daughter Rhaenyra as heir. The realm whispers, but it holds, until Viserys remarries. Queen Alicent bears him a son, Aegon, and suddenly Rhaenyra's claim isn't so secure. Lines are drawn early. Rhaenyra marries Daemon, her unpredictable uncle. Alicent raises her sons to hate their cousins. Tensions bubble, there's talk of bastards, stolen dragons, and blood spilled when young Aemond loses an eye in a fight that leaves the families permanently divided. Then comes the blow that starts the war. Lucerys, Rhaenyra's son, flies to Storm's End on a peace mission. Aemond follows. Their dragons clash in a storm, and Vhagar kills Lucerys. It wasn't meant to be a battle, but it is now. One boy dies, a mother breaks, and the dance of the dragons begins. House of the Dragon, Season 2. Season 2 opens in mourning and spirals straight into blood. Lucerys is dead, and Rhaenyra is frozen in grief. But Daemon wants vengeance now. He hires assassins to kill Aemond. They miss and murder Aegon's 4-year-old son instead. The realm erupts. Aegon loses control. Otto is dismissed. Sir Criston Cole rises as Hand. Meanwhile, Daemon and Rhaenyra clash. Rage, blame, mistrust. Their alliance starts to fracture under the weight of war. In the Riverlands, battle has already begun. Brackens and Blackwood spill each other's blood. Criston skips Harrenhal and targets Rook's Rest. Rhaenys takes the bait, but Aemond and Aegon are waiting. In the sky, dragons clash. Aemond turns on his brother, burns him, and brings Rhaenys down with him. Back on Dragonstone, Rhaenyra pivots. She recruits new riders, Targaryen bastards with dragon blood in their veins. It's desperate. It's dangerous. But it works. By the season's end, new dragons take flight. King's Landing is in her sights. And the dance isn't just chaos anymore, it's war. Thanks for watching. Tell us which moment in Westeros broke you and which twist left you speechless. See you next time.